Want to save your businesses money by paying less taxes? Here's how Singapore's tax incentives can make it happen. Let's dive into the top tax benefits that can help your enterprise grow this 2024. First up, tax exemptions. Singapore offers 2 tax exemption schemes to lighten the load on small and new businesses. For startups, they can enjoy the Startup Tax Exemption Scheme. For the first 3 years, you can get a 75% exemption on the first 100,000 Singapore dollars you earn. The next 100,000 Singapore dollars gets a 50% exemption. That's up to 125,000 Singapore dollars in tax savings each year. And if you're not a startup, that's not a problem. The Partial Tax Exemption Scheme offers a 75% exemption on the first 10,000 Singapore dollars of income. The next 190,000 then gets an exemption of 50%. That's a total of 102,500 Singapore dollars in tax savings. Now let's look at tax incentives for specific industries. For companies engaged in innovation, they can enjoy the Pioneer Tax Incentive. This lets you apply for exemptions for up to 15 years. Your eligibility depends on your company's projects and contributions in Singapore. Meanwhile, the Development and Expansion Incentive is open to companies looking to expand their operations in Singapore. They can enjoy reduced tax rates of 5% or 10% for up to 10 years or more. Now, if you're making big investments on certain projects, why not apply for the investment allowance? This offers tax exemptions of up to 100% of approved capital expenditures. And if you're investing in certain sectors, you could enjoy the refundable investment credit, which gets you up to 50% tax credits. Meanwhile, financial institutions expanding in Singapore can apply for the Financial Sector Incentive. You can have concessionary rates of either 10% or 13.5%. For businesses developing intellectual property, there's the IP Development Incentive. Depending on the income derived from the use of your IP, you can have reduced tax rates of either 5, 10, or 15%. Shipping and logistics businesses can also get special rates through the Maritime Sector Incentive. It offers tax exemptions for shipping companies and 10% tax rates for international freight and logistics operators. For companies engaged in international trade, they can sign up for the Global Trader Program. Depending on your trading income, you can have concessionary tax rates of 5, 10, or 15%. There are also incentives for businesses in R&D and local enterprises that want to expand overseas. For instance, the Enterprise Innovation Scheme allows for 400% tax deductions for certain development projects and activities. Meanwhile, local companies may qualify for the Double Tax Deduction Scheme for their efforts in expanding globally. It lets you claim a 200% deduction on specific expenses such as overseas advertising and business development trips. Even companies planning mergers and acquisitions can also apply for tax allowances. Benefits include being able to claim 25% of the acquisition value over the next 5 years. They also enjoy 200% tax deductions on transaction costs capped at 100,000 Singapore dollars. To make the most of these incentives, work with a professional accounting service. They'll help you unlock your business's full potential and search for incentives that apply to you. So consult an expert today and watch your business thrive in Singapore. With their assistance, you can stay smart and ahead of the competition.